I never imagined I'd reach a moment in life where I'd quietly leave the woman I once thought I'd share my old age with. But sometimes, a single impulsive remark, a careless, selfish sentence, is all it takes to unravel everything you believed was solid. It all began on a Wednesday evening. Nothing out of the ordinary. We were both lounging on the couch, half watching some true crime documentary on Netflix, our usual midweek ritual. She was tucked into her corner, legs beneath a blanket, casually scrolling through her phone. I remember the serenity in her expression, the kind of peace that, in hindsight, feels almost cruelly ironic. Then, completely out of the blue, she locked her phone screen, turned to me, and asked, "Can I ask you something without you getting upset?" In that instant, I felt something shift in the air. That phrase never leads anywhere good. Still, I gave her a small nod. She offered a hesitant smile, like she was gauging my reaction before wading into dangerous waters. "I've just been thinking a lot about us lately," she began, "about trying something new together." I raised an eyebrow. "What kind of new?" She hesitated briefly before continuing. "What would you say if we added someone else into the relationship? Just for the experience?" I blinked, caught off guard. "You mean like a third person?" She nodded gently, her tone almost casual, like she was suggesting we try a new cuisine or visit a different city. "Nothing serious," she said. "Just some harmless fun. No attachments." I let out a short laugh, more from disbelief than amusement. "Where is this even coming from?" She paused again before admitting, "There's this guy at work, his name's Ryan. We've been talking quite a bit. He's very open-minded. We've had some hypothetical conversations about this kind of thing, and it just made me wonder, what if we gave it a try?" At first, I honestly thought I'd misheard her. I truly believed it had to be some kind of joke. "So, you've been discussing our marriage, our private life, with your coworker, and now you're thinking of involving him in it?" She shook her head quickly, defensively. "No, it's not like that. We were just talking about life, how people are so bound by traditional ideas, about how relationships are evolving. And it made me question if maybe we've boxed ourselves in too much." She looked at me like she genuinely believed she was offering something beautiful, like this was some kind of generous gift meant to enhance our bond. But inside me, something was collapsing. "Let me get this straight," I said, my voice steady but heavy. "You've been confiding in Ryan about our relationship, and now you're suggesting we bring him into our bedroom?" "It's not cheating," she insisted quickly. "Nothing happened between us. I thought maybe it could be something we explored together, to bring back the spark. Don't you feel like we've been kind of stuck lately?" I sat there in silence, my mind racing, retracing every moment from the past few weeks. How she'd started putting more effort into her appearance before work. How she began working longer hours. How sometimes she'd smile at her phone like it held a secret. I hadn't said anything at the time. I didn't want to be the jealous husband imagining things that weren't there. But now it all made sense. And the worst part wasn't even her suggestion. It was the calmness with which she said it, like she'd already stepped over the line in her thoughts. Like she'd already envisioned this man sharing the space we had built together. I didn't yell. I didn't throw accusations or raise my voice. I simply sat there, looking at the woman I once believed I knew, and suddenly, she felt like a stranger. I stood up slowly, quietly. "Where are you going?" she asked, voice uncertain. I didn't respond. "Please talk to me. Don't just walk away," she pleaded. But I was already heading down the hall. I grabbed my keys, slipped into my jacket. "Can we at least talk this through?" she called after me. Still, I said nothing, because in that moment, no words could fix what had broken. Nothing she said would make her request feel any less like betrayal. She didn't chase me. She just stayed frozen on the couch, likely wondering why I couldn't be as open-minded as Ryan. But I wasn't Ryan. I was her husband, the man who had been loyal, patient, supportive, even as she emotionally drifted away. Even when her actions began to change without explanation. I got in my car and drove. I had no destination, just a desperate need for distance. That night, I checked into a hotel and stared blankly at the ceiling, trying to piece together how we went from forever to a third person in the blink of an eye. Here's the thing no one tells you about betrayal. It doesn't always involve screaming or tears. Sometimes, it's wrapped in calmness. Sometimes, it looks like the woman you love, sitting on the couch, asking you to welcome a stranger into the sacred space you once shared. And sometimes, the only response that makes sense is silence. No argument, no goodbye. Just turning your back and never looking behind.